applique stitch that I'm using is a zigzag stitch, and I have my stitch length set to 2.0 and the stitch width is 1.2. I have my open toe applique foot on my machine, and I'm using an 80 weight thread, so it's a very fine thread, and this will produce a fairly invisible stitch. I'm starting in the middle, and I will work my way clockwise around the shape. I'm going to manually place my needle right there at the point and start stitching. So the right swing of the needle is going into the background fabric right next to the folded edge. The left swing of the needle is just touching into the applique shape. It's not going in very far. This is a really narrow stitch. When you get to the point, you'll stop with your needle down and then turn and go down the next side. As you work your way to the middle, you can stop here, and if you want, you can take some small anchoring stitches, or you can continue on to the next shape. I could go to this shape here, or I could go forward on this one, but I'm going to switch out my thread and try some different stitches on these so you can just see what it looks like. For this orange peel, I am using Aurifil 28 weight, so it's a thicker thread, and I have a top stitch needle, I think it's a size 90. And I'm just going to do a straight stitch right along the folded edge. So on the orange peel shape, and I have a 3.0 stitch length. And this is very simple and easy. So it's nice, especially since I've already got a turned edge. I don't have to worry about fraying, so a straight stitch here along the edge works really well. And the thicker thread just gives it a little bit more of a pronounced look. I'm going to stop with the needle down and pivot and then continue on. If your needle doesn't fall right where you want it to at the point, you could always bring your needle up and then manually lift the presser foot and manually place it right where you want it to be. That's a little bit far. Right here. And then continue on. And again, we're working in a clockwise direction. I've switched thread to a 50 weight, and I have a zigzag stitch, and the setting is 2.5 width and a 0.6, let's go 0.60 stitch length. So this one is going to be more tight, and you'll see it. So I'm not trying to do anything invisible. I want this one to show up more. So it's more decorative style. So the right swing of the needle is going into the background fabric just next to the shape, and the left swing is going into the shape. So most of the thread is going to fall on the orange peel shape. I stop with the needle down at the point, pivot, and now the next stitch I take, the needle is going to swing to the left, which is what I want. And I'll continue to the other end. My last stitch here is going to be a double blanket stitch, and I have Aurifil 40 weight thread, so it's a little bit thicker than the 50 weight, and my settings are 2.9 stitch width and a 2.5 stitch length.